No secret at this stage that Johnny Depp has been going through a rough time for quite a while now.
I'm scared to death. I'm frightened, and I don't know what to do. I'm confused, and I want to go home.
In 2017, it was reported the actor had earned around $650 million from various projects throughout his career. He invested much of it in properties scattered around the world, too. Here's a tour of Johnny Depp's properties. Let's take a look at all of Depp's properties. The celebrity has a pretty extensive real estate portfolio. At one point, he owned property all over the world. Now, however, after being forced to scale back, he sold some of them. We aren't exactly sure what the current situation is and which homes he still has and which he's living in, but we're going to take a look at the ones we know about. One of his main assets that we know about is his yacht. Sadly, it was costing him way too much to hold on to, so he sold it to J.K. Rowling, who sold it sometime afterwards too. Johnny spent $18 million on his yacht that was named Amphitrite, after his ex-wife. He also owns another yacht named Valhalla Roja, a name he created combining his wife's, and two children's names together. This yacht is actually available to rent at $130,000 a week during the busiest seasons. The yacht was meant to be an expression of his personal style. It does look quite grand and antique. He wanted it to resemble the classic gentleman's yachts of the 1930s. The yacht has 5 main cabins. There's the VIP cabin, the double cabin, the master stateroom, a bunk cabin, and a twin cabin. Up to 10 guests and 8 crew members can comfortably stay in this yacht. Kentucky Farm. In 2017, Depp was trying to sell his horse farm at an auction in Kentucky, but was unsuccessful. The actor himself is actually from Kentucky. He purchased this house in 1995 and then sold it, but also bought it again in 2005. His mother Betty Sue passed away in 2016, but before that, she was living in this home for quite some time. It'd only be sensible to sell the property after her death since no one was going to be living there. The farm covered an area of 41 acres and came with a 6,000 square foot brick house, guest house, and 3 barns, too. There was also a pool. The home came with 6 bedrooms and 6.5 baths, which was more than enough space for his mother. Bahamas Islands. As you saw, the Kentucky farm was quite modest and old-fashioned. However, don't be fooled. Depp bought an entire chain of islands in the Bahamas in 2004. It only cost him $3.6 million, but he definitely spent more on building the islands as well. The land is 45 acres and has 6 beaches. It's called Little Halls Pond Cay. And of course, one of the beaches was named Paradise, after his former wife Vanessa Paradise. The rest were named after his kids. Here's what he had to say about this property. "I don't think I've ever been any place so pure and beautiful. You can feel your pulse rate drop about 20 beats. It's instant freedom." There's also a scuba diving spot close by that was named Heath's Place, in loving memory of Heath Ledger, who was his friend. Even though he dearly loved the island, he had to try selling it since he's been liquidating his assets. French Village. Now we're going to tell you guys about the village he bought in France. Yes, a whole village. In 2001, he purchased this 36-acre spread, but it's still unclear how much it cost him. When the actor initially listed his French estate back in 2015 and 2016, the going price fluctuated between $25 and $63 million, according to reports by Variety, and the place never got sold. Now he's preparing to relist the property, but this time asking for more, somewhere around $55.5 million. It's possible that he's doing the right thing here. Depp isn't inexperienced when it comes to real estate, and he's probably reading the times right. After months of being holed up in private residences, who wouldn't want to own an estate such as this one? Without any exaggerations, it's literally an entire village, complete with a bistro, a wine cave, a skate park, and multiple houses. The village is located in Provence-les-Plaines de la Tour, a tiny region about a dozen miles outside of the Côte d'Azur hotspot of Saint-Tropez. It's got plenty of charm, as well as 15 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms distributed over 6 guest cottages and 1 main residence. The main residence here spans 4,300 square feet just by itself. One of the guest houses was a church before, and the confessional was turned into a closet. Besides that, the village also has an art studio, a swimming pool, and a private restaurant. He even set up a wine cave. At least now we know how he manages to spend $30,000 a month on just wine. LA properties. He's also bought quite a few properties around LA. He owns 5 apartments downtown. He purchased LA's fashionable Eastern Columbia building for $10 million. Instead of making one massive house with 14 beds and 9 bathrooms, he chose to keep the suites separate and lived in there like rooms in a house. The listings tell us that the homes are very colorful and creatively decorated, plus they've got lots of flair. Supposedly, he also put these up for sale some years ago and sold off the remaining apartments in 2017. Hollywood Hills. He also owns 5 houses in the Hollywood Hills. He rents out some of the homes now and then. He played with the idea of building an underground tunnel that would connect all the homes, but never followed through with it. The main mansion that he owns in Hollywood Hills is a 1930s mansion with very Gothic architecture. There aren't too many pictures of the mansion itself or the interior, but we're really curious to see what he's done with the place. The mansion has 10 bathrooms and 8 bedrooms, and it spans an area of 7,430 square feet. There's also a master suite with a fireplace. Outside the home, there's a hot tub and a pool, too. Losing the property, the lawsuits. Turns out that much of this massive fortune has disappeared, which led to a pretty confusing series of events back then. There were plenty of lawsuits. He was also suing his manager and company for negligence and fraud. He claimed to be unaware of where a lot of his money had gone. His family also went through a lot of his money. His sister Christy blew millions. Not to mention the dramatic ongoing conflict between him and his now ex-wife, Amber Heard. Forbes estimated that with such a large chunk of his fortune being used up, his net worth has fallen drastically and now stands at $200 million. What now? We don't know the exact amount of properties owned by Mr. Depp, nor do we have too many details to give you. The man just has too many properties to keep track of. He had to get rid of many of his estates because of his financial crises, but if he owns even a fraction of these properties still, he can't be doing too badly. He also owns another villa situated in a high-end Paris neighborhood, but maybe he sold that one too, since he did put his other French property up for sale. He still has his LA mansions too. The man's got no shortage of choice when it comes to homes. In an interview with Rolling Stone, we found that Johnny was presently living in a 10,000 square foot mansion he'd rented in the Highgate neighborhood of London, but that was in 2018. His present home is undisclosed. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Make sure to click the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.